Good morning, students. So the topic for today is major task in data preprocessing. This is the last topic in unit 1. In the previous videos, I have already discussed 4 different forms of preprocessing, right? Which includes data cleaning, data integration, data transformation and data reduction in detail, right? So today in this video, I will discuss major task of data processing. Okay. Now the forms of reprocessing and this major task in data preprocessing are same. Okay, but in reference book data mining by Han and Camber, in Han and Camber, your reference book, it is given as forms of data preprocessing, and your textbook, which is data mining by Vipin Kumar, and in the syllabus also it is given as major task in data preprocessing. So both are same. All these concepts which are listed here I have already explained in the forms of preprocessing. Okay, so I will explain each in detail, right? So I will start with the first one. Okay, first one is aggregation. Aggregation refers to combining two or more attributes or objects into a single attribute or object. Okay, I'll repeat. It refers to combining two or more attributes or objects into single attribute or object. Okay, so aggregation includes data cube aggregation, where information is gathered and expressed in summary form and is stored in the form of a cube, which is a multidimensional model. Okay, so this aggregation, data cube aggregation, I have already explained in the forms of preprocessing. Okay, so let me take the same example, okay, which I have previously explained there, that is of data table year wise. There also I have explained with the same example, right, where we had sales data table year wise. So after aggregation we were getting a data cube, right? Okay, and then that data cube, with that data cube it is easy to access the data or say retrieve relevant information. Okay, so this is what we have in aggregation. Okay, so so next we'll see what are the purposes of aggregation. So say first purpose is data reduction. Okay, so in data reduction it reduces the number of attributes or objects. So data reduction is what I have taken an example of, say 1 TB of data which is getting reduced to 1 GB of data, right? By keeping the information intact, okay, but it reduces the size, right? Okay, so so data reduction converts data into smaller data sets and hence requires less memory and processing time. Okay, so that is the first purpose. Second purpose is change of scale. Okay, so change of scale is it is aggregated into regions, states, countries, etc. Okay, it provides high level view of data instead of low level view. One example is cities. The other example is of days. Days are aggregated into weeks, months and year. That is your change of scale. The third purpose is more stable data. Okay, so we will have, by doing aggregation, we will have more stable data. Okay, so that is the third purpose of aggregation. Now next is, so we have finished with the first task, then we'll go to the second task, that is sampling. So what is sampling? It is a technique which is used for selecting a subset of data objects to be analyzed. I'll repeat. It is a technique which is used for selecting a subset of data objects to be analyzed. Okay, so it is used for both preliminary investigation of data as well as final data analysis. Okay, so here it is said, sampling is using data mining because processing the entire set of data of interest is expensive or time consuming. Okay, because it is too expensive and time consuming, the processing of the entire set of data, sampling is done. Okay, now in sampling we have three types of sampling. Okay, the first is simple random sampling. Okay, so what is done in simple random sampling is, here there is an equal probability of selecting any particular data. So here randomly samples are picked, okay, and there is a equal probability that any of the item will be selected. Okay, so any sample can be selected. So the probability of selecting any particular item is same or equal. That is simple random sampling. Now second is sampling without replacement. Okay, in this case, when each item is selected here, it is removed from the population. It is not kept back or it is not replaced. Okay, it is removed from the population. So next time there is 0% it is removed, it is 0% chances that you will get the same sample. Okay, then coming to the third, that is sampling with replacement. This is without replacement. You are not putting that sample back in the population. Here what happens is, we are putting the sample back in the population. Now here when object is selected, it is replaced or put back in the population. So here there are chances of the same object getting picked up more than once. Okay, so here there are chances of same object getting picked up more than once. Okay, so here sampling with replacement are of two types, stratified and progressive. In stratified, here data is split into several partitions. Okay, here data is split into several partitions, and then random samples are drawn from each partition. Okay, so I'll repeat, your data is, in stratified, data is split into several partitions and then random samples are drawn from each partition. That is stratified sampling. Next is progressive sampling. This approach starts with small sample and then increase the sample size until a sample of sufficient size has been obtained, as proper sample size can be difficult to determine. Okay, so you start with a small sample and you keep on increasing the sample size until you get the sufficient size. Okay, that is what is done in progressive sampling. Next, so we have done with sampling, then we'll go to the next. So aggregation is done, first one, the task. Second task, sampling, is done. Third one is dimensionality reduction. This also we have already covered in forms of pre-processing. Now what is dimensionality reduction is, it is reserved for those techniques that reduce the dimensionality of data set by creating new attributes that are combination of all attributes. Okay, or say here we have irrelevant, weakly relevant, okay, or redundant attributes or dimensions may be detected and removed. Okay, so irrelevant or weakly relevant or redundant attributes, okay, are detected and removed. See this example, I have already explained of dimensional reduction. A table with date of birth and age, right? So if we know the date of birth, we can calculate the age. So age is our redundant attribute. Okay, so removal of it will reduce the data table. Okay, the main purposes of dimensional reduction are: avoid curse of dimensionality, reduce amount of time and memory required by data mining algorithms, allow data to more easily visualized, and may help to eliminate irrelevant features or reduce noise. Okay, these are the main purposes of dimensionality reduction. And which are the techniques in dimensionality reduction? One is the PCA, that is principal component analysis, SVD, that is singular value decomposition, and others. Supervised and non-linear techniques are some techniques of dimensionality reduction. Okay, so this is what we have in dimensionality reduction. Next, coming to feature subset reduction, that is the fourth task. Okay, now we'll see what is feature subset selection. So it is also a dimensionality reduction technique in data mining process. Okay, where size of data is reduced. Okay, it is also, what I said is, it is also a dimensionality reduction technique in data mining process where size of data is reduced. Okay, your data set may have large number of attributes, okay, but only some of those attributes might be irrelevant or redundant. Okay, now what is this redundant and irrelevant? Okay, redundant features or attributes are the same example I'll take of date of birth and age. So age becomes redundant. Why? Because using the other feature or the attribute, that is date of birth, okay, I can calculate the age. So these are the redundant features. Irrelevant features are what? The example I'll take. This example I'll take. Okay, you have a table with students' ID and marks or marks of all both the semester or 4 semesters, and you want to find the GPA. GPA is grade point average of say third year. Okay, so average of your third year will require semester result of your 5th semester and 6th semester, right? To find GPA of third year, you require 5th semester marks and 6th semester marks, right? So, but you have in that table 5th semester marks, 6th semester marks and student ID. So, predicting GPA does not require student ID, right? It is independent. So, this student ID becomes the irrelevant features to predict GPA of third year. Is that clear? This is one more example. The other example can be finding annual income of an employee. Okay, so address in the table will become the irrelevant attribute, because to calculate annual income we require monthly salary, right, and your other sources of income. Okay, your address is not required, so that becomes the irrelevant feature. This is the second example of feature subset irrelevant features. Okay, next coming to the flowchart. So in feature subset selection, you have a flowchart. Okay, in this flowchart we have 4 steps. One is the feature selection feature subset generation. Second is the feature subset evaluation. Third is the stopping criteria, and last is validation. Okay, these are the 4 steps. Here what is done is these attributes are the original features. This is your data sets, attributes of the data set or the table, okay, which is given as the input to the search strategy, which is your subset generation, feature subset generation. Okay, so it generates this search strategy generates subsets of features, okay, which are then evaluated by evaluation function. Okay, so here we can have no features, we can start with no features, all features, okay, or random features. Then, so after this we are getting